this video, I'm going to take you from a declined or bent front lever to a straight one every time using the cheat method. It's so simple and easy to do. You can do it every workout and all you need is a resistance band and proof it works. Well, I've been using it for my coaching clients that I teach myself and it's been doing great for those that have a bent or declined front lever. So it's going to work for you too. So first I need to go over why you're experiencing this problem in the first place in order to, tell you how to fix it. So let's jump into the Jack Calisthenics Discord, join us if you haven't already, and let's find an example of a bent or declined front lever and I'll show you how to fix it. Okay, so we're in the Jack Calisthenics Discord and here we have Lutzi, an example of someone learning the front lever, but it's ending up a little bit declined or a little bit bent in the middle. So I'm going to play through the clip and you guys can see. Play it from the start here. He's got about 2-3 second hold front lever, but as you can see in the middle of his hold here, you can see if I draw right here, his hips are in line with his shoulders, but his feet are a little high. So he's ending up in this position here. So he's a little bit bent. He's not in that straight front lever that we all want, that perfect form. So I'm going to tell you why this is happening and how to fix it with that cheat method. So the first thing, why is this happening? It's just gonna come down to three main things. The first one is always really gonna come down fundamentally to strength, lat strength specifically, pulling strength. So if you can increase your pulling strength specifically in the straight arm position, that's gonna help, because right now what the body is doing is it's trying to compensate. It's trying to get into the full front lever position by being this long, and at this long it can hold for 3-4 seconds, so it feels more comfortable holding here. But your guys will notice as I play through this clip, he's trying to get into the front lever position and you see he drops down, but right at the end, look at that, he ends up in a flat front lever position, but he can't hold this. He drops straight down. So he actually drops down into the correct position, but can't hold it due to lat strength. The second reason this might be happening is also just due to hip activation. When you're starting out, you might be finding it troublesome to get in this flat position that he actually ends up in, where the hips are nice and open, because you're thinking so much just about holding with the lats. You're thinking about the straight arms. You're just thinking about hold. You're not really thinking about activation too much because it's so close to your max. So the first thing, number one, is we want to increase the lat strength. The second thing, we want to make sure we've got that hip activation down so we don't have to think about it so consciously during the hold, during our maxes. And as we get more comfortable with the front lever, this hip activation to open up is gonna become a lot more natural. And the third thing is grip. So some people actually don't grip enough or don't pay attention to their grip enough. Some people use false grip, some people don't. So using false grip can be something that engages the forearm a lot more and can start engaging the lats, the teres a lot more, some muscles of the back, and get you better retraction. So the better your retraction is, the better your activation of these muscles here, the more stable you're going to be in the front lever. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the drill, but think about those three things: your grip, your lats, and your hip activation. Those are probably the reasons that you're not in a perfectly straight front lever. And with this drill and cheat method I'm going to teach you, it's going to fix these three things. So let's go and work on that. The first part of the cheat method is going to be the grip, because that's the first thing we do when we get into our front lever is we get our grip. What we're going to do first is we're going to hold on very tightly. So we're going to try and get a thumb over our pointer finger. So we're holding tightly there, and then we're going to try and squeeze these last three fingers as much as we can. So we have a very tight grip. Okay, that's step number one. Then when we have our grip, we're going to start bending the bar. By bending the bar, that's going to activate some muscles such as the lats and the teres even more. So we have better retraction and better activation. You'll see here, as I pretend to bend the bar, you see how much activation I get in my lats compared to just pushing down. This is me just pushing down. Here's me bending and pushing down. I get way more activation there. Hopefully you can see that. So we're going to do that now. Then in the drill, this is how it goes. It goes in 2 steps. So it's kind of like a superset. First, you're going to hold as high as you can and as straight as you can, kind of like an inverted deadlift. And then you're going to drop down and hold as straight as you can for as long as you can. Okay, you don't have to go all the way to parallel. You just hold as low as you can, but where you can hold for a decent amount of time, over 5 seconds is gonna be ideal. I'm gonna demonstrate, and then straight after that, you're gonna get in the band and I'll show you what to do next. So let me demonstrate what to do. So we're gonna get our grip, hold tightly. Remember, false grip or normal grip, doesn't matter. Hold tightly, pointer finger over, my thumb over my pointer finger. I'm gonna start bending the bar now.
Okay, better activation, good retraction. Then I'm gonna kick up to this position, hold straight. Look at me here. Hold, 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 hold. Then we get tired, we come down. And what we do is we grab the band, put our hips in the band, step into it, put it over the bar. Then we're gonna go again, hold tightly, bend the bar. We're gonna come down, front lever, open hips. We're gonna drop the hips. Pull, drop the hips, pull, drop the hips, pull, and keep bending the bar. Okay, that's gonna work on the hip activation, your grip, and your lat strength. It's gonna work on everything we just talked about, okay, all in one drill. So this one is very good because you're really strong in the front lever at this tight angle, because most people can hold inverted like this for a very long time, okay? But not many people can hold the front lever for a very long time. So over time, you're gonna work dropping down until you get close to the front lever position. That's gonna work on the lat strength. Then the second part, the superset, where you drop the hips and open the hips, that's gonna work on the hip activation, and it works on the retraction, and it works your grip. Works on everything. So guys, try this one if you're struggling with a bent front lever.
Okay, so hopefully that drill helps you guys with the 3 aspects of the front lever that you need to work on if you have a bent front lever, which is the grip, the lat strength, of course, the most important, I think, and then the hip activation. So that drill will do it all. Of course, some good accessories that you can also do as well and fit into your workouts as well. By the way, I would do this one, you know, maybe not as your first exercise, but second or third is going to be really good. And then some accessories at the end. Dragon flags, really good for working the straight line, hip activation, and lats. And then inverted deadlifts. Again, I'd do that near the end, okay? Okay, let's finish off the Form Check Friday. We're going to help you guys with some other skills as well. I'll give you some tips, but Lutzi had a final question, okay? Which one's better in his front lever? Having a very kind of close to parallel front lever, but it's bent, or one where he's, you know, a little bit more open in the hips, but it's way more declined. I'll say there's positives and negatives to both, okay? But really, I would go for this one in terms of hold time. If I could hold, you know, way more seconds like this, like I can hold 10 seconds, or I'm going from 10 to 12 to 15, then I would kind of pick this one. This one's going to be easier for you to hold at the moment, but with the drill, you want to work on being parallel as well. So if you only do this, you're going to struggle to bring the feet down eventually. So you need to use, you know, the other superset in the drill where you're working on the hips and you're working on your assisted front lever in this position, because you need to be working this angle specifically as well. It will help you get it faster, because with this, you're not holding too long. This one's definitely closer to the front lever because you get close to parallel, but you know, you can't hold this. I would rather you hold this for a lot longer, like here, you seem way more controlled. Then over time, as you work on the assisted front lever, as you work on being more parallel, you know, you're gonna get closer to this position, you know, which is really good, but you can't hold that at the moment. Also, make sure that you're not getting shrugged up into your shoulders like this. Make sure you're working on that depression, that retraction, and you're not getting, you know, stuck in your shoulders like that, okay? Now, let's help some other people, some other skills as well. So here we got Blaze. He said that he's got his first ever straddle planche. So we're just gonna have a look at this. And for a first ever straddle planche, I guess maybe this is the first one he's counted, because I find it hard to believe this is your first ever attempt. This is really good. Yeah, in terms of the activation, it's better than most in straddle planche, to be honest. It looks like you're getting, you know, very steep angle here. So you want to work on your elevation. You want to work on that retraction, maintaining a hollow body. I have my previous video kind of talks about that in terms of the grip, how the grip can help you maintain the retraction, because that's the one thing up top here. That I can mention is you're getting into a very steep angle here. You want to work on maintaining that elevation, and then also your leg activation. Leg is a little bent, at least from this angle it kind of looks like this leg is bent. So make sure it's equal, because it looks like this leg is straight, it looks like this leg is bent. So just make sure it's equal. Make sure you have enough space. This might be getting in a way, but for a first like ever straddle planche, it's really good. So let's go over the form of these. The one thing I want to mention is you do go up with a little bit of momentum. So over time, you want to work on the control, because this is a problem I had as well in my front lever pull-ups, is just going up and repping them out. It depends. If your goal is just to spam and just get as many as you can out there, then that's fine. But if you want to work on more control and eventually work on your pull to touches, you'll benefit from going a little slower with less momentum for more reps. You know, more reps under more control, okay? Because what I can see is you kind of get a lot of pull and bounce from the bottom, and then, you know, at the top, it's more momentum than it is control of the rear delts and the upper back. Okay. So that's what I'd say. So in these first few reps, make sure it's all under control and less bounce. So kind of go more to dead stop and work on those dead stop reps where you do one, you go down, you wait. So there's no momentum, no bounce. You do another one, bam, wait. So make sure you're introducing dead stop reps because that's really going to help you. You don't only want to work on like spam reps, if that makes sense. If your goal is to get like pull to touch and stuff like that, and even to work on your front lever, your full front lever pull-up. Next up, we have an advanced tuck planche on the floor. So the person was saying that they don't fully understand the activation, what's right, what's wrong. So I'm going to try and help them out a little bit. There was a bit of discussion going on the Discord. So here, the first thing I'm going to say is you got to take your shirt off and change the camera angle, because even for me, it's hard to know if you're in full protraction, half protraction, retracted. It's hard to say for certain. I can only make an educated guess based on the positioning of everything else. So the first thing is change the camera angle to something a little higher, pointed at your shoulder, because if it's hard for me to tell, it's going to be hard for you to tell looking back. So change the camera angle and take your shirt off if you can, if you feel comfortable. You're going to be alone in your training in your own house, so I don't know why I'm asking if you'll feel comfortable. Definitely do it. Take your shirt off. You're in your own home. Place the camera here and make sure you can see your protraction, because that's a big part of the activation. Okay, you do want the side on angle as well. You can just do both, or you know, one set do one camera angle, another set do another one, because you can see the hips are a little low, but I think that is coming from up top. I think most of the problem is coming up top because your activation below is really good. You have got this kind of position where you're 90 degrees to the floor and you're pulling your heels towards the glutes, which I really like. This is a small hack for you guys, because if you pull your heels to your glutes and get your feet up like this, you actually shorten yourself and make yourself a lot more compact than people that let their feet come down and they actually end up being longer, right? Which is harder to hold. So by being compact like this and pointing your toes and pulling with your heels towards your glutes, you actually get this force that makes you more compact and helps you lift the hips and stay in this advanced tuck position, you know, for longer, because you have this full body activation rather than just keeping the legs loose, letting them drop, and then your shoulders are doing all the work. That's not as good activation. So that's really good. I really like that from your lower leg activation. But the thing you need to work on is up top. The reason we kind of protract is to present the shoulder forward so we get the correct muscle activation, right? And you want the correct muscle activation along the arm, all the way from the wrist all the way up to the shoulder and up here. So it's a whole chain, and what it looks like is that you're either neutral or just slightly protracted. So that's what I'd work on. Maintain this whole body position, presenting the shoulders forward so you get really good activation there. That's kind of what I'd work on, and then the hips a little bit up. Okay, I would still say it's like a solid advanced tuck, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say to kind of help you out with this. You do kind of, as you hold, you go into a super advanced tuck, so be careful of that. Just hold the advanced tuck position and get really good with that. Okay, talk soon, man, and yeah, hopefully this one helps. And that's it for Form Check Friday. So sorry if there's some clips that I missed or something. I just can't keep up with the chat in the Discord. It's meant to be no conversations in that channel, but there are always conversations. So I think I'm gonna have to change the submissions. But thank you for watching so much. Thank you for submitting your clips, and hopefully this one helped you. And I'll see you guys in the next one.